Welcome back everybody. Today we are looking at the new 900 Global Afterburner. If you like what we do, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and check us out on Patreon. First impressions, the Afterburner is going to be an underrated little star. Alright, so what do we have here? This is an entry-level price ball that I'm guessing isn't going to get much attention. However, I don't think the Afterburner should be ignored. It's under the radar with a medium-strength hybrid cover stock, a more or less basic light bulb core with a flip puck. I feel like we've seen this formula before. Here's the Afterburner. Here's a little ball called the Storm Lights Out. Anyway, with that said, I have to admit to being a little excited by this. I love the Lights Out. The Storm Furious, which had the same core and the R2S Solid, was actually my personal favorite ball of all time. And I would say the Afterburner is pretty much what you would expect. With the 1500 grip polish, it's easy to get down lane. It'll go long in oil, that's for sure. But get it to the friction at the right distance down lane, it has that booming reaction you get from light bulb cores with a little extra flip. I would say it's a little deceiving, at least to my eyes don't personally see it as long and snappy because it's like a building, boom down lane. But ultimately on a generic level, the Afterburner does fit in the mid-lane category that is long with an angular response to friction. There's no denying its response to friction when I get it out early. You can see that right away. And this house pattern that we're playing on is a typical high ratio type pattern with lots of oil inside of 9, lots of friction outside of it. So this type of ball, in other words mid-late, can be prone to over-under reaction. Get it to the friction early and it's hooking hard, not planning on holding. Push it into the oil and it floats very long. And I would say this is probably not a fresh house shot ball from the left side, at least not without some surface to smooth it out. I say that because I played the Solid Furious on fresh on these type of shots for years. But for some breakdown, especially on the right side, this is going to be a great shape. You kind of just bounce it to the friction and its response allows you to trust it. Honestly, this is a really simple formula that I believe will work a ton. When I had a Lights Out, I intentionally short pinned that layout to get a ball that's a little more even with less down lane responsiveness. I drilled the Afterburner like I did my Furious. As usual, I'm testing two-handed as well, and this is an opportunity to showcase the difference between rev dominant and speed rev matched response. The response is clearly pretty strong from the Afterburner, and anytime you reduce the speed relative to your rev rate, you'll see sharper friction response down lane. Now, where I wanted to basically push the ball to the friction at 40 feet with my one-hand game, I actually preferred to keep the break point in a little further with two-hand. The increased response with my two-hand game meant great hit from inside as opposed to that kind of bucket type weak hit. So even though I might look fairly deep, the ball worked very well for me and was quite easy to play. Ultimately, it's because the slower response in oil allowed me to feel comfortable that I could float it to the oil down lane and not be worried about over response or under response for that matter. If I missed out, the ball will surely recover anyway. Some stronger balls start their transition sooner, which means I don't get the extra control in the middle of the lane. I hope that kind of makes sense. Final thoughts. I really hope the 900 Global Afterburner is not overlooked by bowlers, and I actually think a whole house shot arsenal could be made from one ball, and that's how confident I am with it. Put 2000 surface and it would be more than enough for a fresh house shot. Put maybe 3000 on something like a short pin ball for control reaction, and then this out of the box 1500 grip polish when you just need to get in and play the friction. I feel like 900 Global snuck this one in right under our noses, and I'm hoping this video will help people wake up and smell the coffee.